Hi guys, today we're going to do some super fun watermelon art. I'm going to show you two different ways to get this fun summer look. We're going to do one with our inks, so the Magpie Inkies. We're going to use green and the neon pink, and then we're also going to use some opal dust and some of the Magpie watermelon decals. So two different looks that are super easy, super quick that you can do in the salon with probably no more than 5 or 10 minutes added to your service. So let's get started. We're gonna start with our inkies. So I have a white pop stick here that I have matte top coated to do our inkies. So what we're going to do is actually draw in our inks. So I'm just opening up my inks right now. I've got the green and the neon pink, like I said, and these we're going to draw with. We're not actually going to disperse them. So sorry about that. Let's get her picked up. And we're going to start with doing crescent moons with the green to give us a rind. So just like little C's. And I'm just tapping the ink on there. There we go. And one more. And again, these nail pops are always so long. Your client's nails are not going to be this long. So we have to do just a little more art on these guys to fill them up. All right, so those are our watermelon rinds. Now we're going to take our neon pink and we're going to draw in kind of like triangles. Again, I'm just tapping the color to make the triangle. And because we're not going to disperse this, we kind of want to put it where we want it. But it's okay if you have big ones, small ones, wavy lines, all that good stuff, because watercolors are supposed to be pretty organic, so we don't need them to be perfect. And this one here, we're just going to run off the nail, make it look like the watermelon slice continues off the nail there. And I'm going to add a little more green to this guy right here, just because our pink kind of decided it was going to run all over the place there a little bit. Alrighty, so we're going to leave that right there. We're going to let it air dry for a second, and while it's air drying, I'm getting out my art paints. They are the Magpie art paints, and today I'm going to be using black, green, and white. And we're going to mix our green and white together to give us like a softer green. So I'll just pop that into the view so you can see. There's our made up green. And then we've got black and white. Because we're going to add some details to this guy. So we're going to start with our white. I'm just loading my brush now with the white. And get you back in frame. There we go. And what I'm gonna do is just add a nice white squiggly line right here to add that detail. The watermelon rind gets lighter towards the actual watermelon, so we wanna go ahead and just give that illusion. So the nice little white line will do that for us. And you can see it's not a straight line. I'm just kind of following the ebb and flow of how the watercolors landed. There we go. So I'm just going to freeze that in the light real quick, just so we can continue to keep painting. If you're ever worried about you may not be able to do the next step without messing it up, if you just freeze for 3 to 10 seconds in between, you won't have to worry. So now I won't mess up my white line. All right, so now we're going to take our green that we mixed. So I just took green, our green paint and white paint and just softened it up so it wasn't quite as dark as the green we already have on here. And all I'm gonna do is just add a few squiggly lines to each watermelon rind. So maybe about 3 each, just to give it some dimension. Because if you look at a watermelon rind in nature, it's dark and light, so we don't want it to be one-dimensional. We want it to be kind of like it is in nature. And as you can see, I'm like just squiggling the lines, because again, these guys don't have to be perfect. It's just adding some contrast for us. So you can see I did 3 lines on each. So now we have some dark spots and some light spots, just like a natural watermelon. So I'm just gonna freeze that real quick and wipe off my brush. And now we're gonna do the seeds. So I'm gonna let my brush do all the work for me with these seeds, because they're so tiny and no one's gonna be able to look at them up close. So we're just gonna go into the black paint. I'm gonna make sure there's not a bulb on the end. I have a nice point to it. And all I'm gonna do, oh, let me get you back in frame. There we go. All I'm gonna do is set my brush down and pick it up. And it'll make a perfect little seed for me. And then I'm just gonna rotate, because this one is going in this direction. So again, I'm just gonna set it down, pick it up. And then I'm gonna rotate it back and add a couple of seeds to this guy. Perfect. I feel like we need one more seed right there. There we go. See all our seeds. Perfect. Now this time it's got to go in for a full cure. So while that's curing, I'm just gonna clean off my brush and I'm going to get my top coat ready. So for this look, I'm gonna use our Don't Be Tacky. It is our tack-free top coat. It has a fantastic shine to it. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. And then I'm also gonna show you the next nail we're gonna do while we're waiting for that to cure. There we go. And that is the next thing we're gonna do, is gonna play with that. I'm gonna top coat this guy real quick. And while he cooks, we'll get started on the other one. But how fun is that? It'd make a great accent nail, super fun. There we go, top coat on. That guy's gonna go in the light. And we're gonna get started with our next one. So again, to save some time, I just used a white nail pop that I went ahead and matte top coated, because we are gonna again use some inks on this guy. I wanna use the inks for the background. So I'm just gonna use the pink. And I'm just gonna tap my ink all over the place, because basically it's just gonna be a background. And then for this one, I'm just gonna use, you can use the clear ink that comes with your Magpie kit, or you can use acetone and alcohol. Either one will move these inks. So I'm gonna use a 50-50 split, and I'm just gonna tap to disperse this out a little bit. I'm not trying to do much with this. Like again, I said it's just gonna be a background for me. So it doesn't have to have a ton of veins and stuff. We just kind of want the pink in the background, and we still want to see a little bit of that white through there too. So see, no rhyme or reason to it. Just moved it around pretty well. Now we're gonna let that guy air dry for just a second, and then we're gonna take a base coat. So you can use All About the Base, Give Me Strength, anything that'll give you a sticky layer, because we're gonna put this over it. This awesome opal dust. It's gonna give a little contrast to it, but you gotta have something sticky to stick that into. So I'm just gonna drop a little bit of base coat on there and throw it in the light. So that way I've got something sticky to put those into. And again, this is just the background. We're gonna be putting the decals over this, so we don't have to be too particular with the background. So in the light it goes. And then to apply my opal dust, I'm going to be using my Magpie glitter applicator. It's a fantastic applicator. It doesn't, the tacky from the gel polish doesn't get up into the brush, so it's really great for applying dusts, chromes, glitter, all that good stuff into your tacky layer of your gel polish. And alrighty, we've got that guy out of the light, and we're just gonna open up our opal chrome, our opal dust, and it's just gonna give it a little bit of detail. So we're just gonna kind of tap it on here and move it around. There we go. There we go, and I'm just gonna brush it just a little bit because I wanna make sure there's no sticky left, because I'm going to go ahead and put my decals right over this. So I want to make sure there's no sticky left. So we're just going to put our lid on those flakes, because otherwise I'm going to probably elbow them over. So here are our decals. They're totally fun. So how I do the decals is I take a pair of tweezers and I pick which decal I would like, and then I bend the paper right at that decal and just use my tweezers to flick the edge up and pick it up, and then I'm going to place it right down on the nail. There we go, we got one. And we'll do, let's see, maybe we'll do one of these guys here. This is a whole watermelon. And then you just place it and press it with your finger, and it'll stick right to there. Then we'll do one more slice. Down here. And it's okay, this little piece that went off the side, when we top coat, you can go back and file and it'll take that right off. So it's okay that it came off the nail like that. And then I'm gonna use one more, I think. We have some small slices, just because I feel like we've got really a lot of space up here. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna just go ahead and top coat this guy. And I would double top coat this because you do want to protect the decals and you don't want your client to be able to pick it off. So you can either put a layer in between, like a gimme strength and then top coat, or you can double top coat it. Either way, you just want to sandwich it in there so your client can't get to it. Alrighty, that's going to go in the light. And then this is our finished watermelon inkies. Totally cute. And while that guy's cooking, we'll just hang on just a second and he'll come out and then we can see them together. And I would just use a file to file that little piece off. There we go. So those are our two designs. Easy peasy summer artwork you can do. If you guys have any questions or anything, just give me a holler. Happy to walk you through how to do any of these things. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.